friends.
Welcome to Spiced Chaos. I am Leanne of SpicedPlans.
And I'm Caitlin from Creating in Chaos.
And over there with us today is Gabe from Plan with Gabe. Hi, Gabe.
Hi, Gabe.
Hi, how are you?
We are great.
Doing well. Yeah, we're doing well.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. We are so excited to have you here.
I'm excited to be here.
This is really different because obviously you're the first guy that we've had on the show.
Whoop, whoop. Planner Bros.
Yep, it's interesting. There's not a lot of planner bros, and a lot of them are not on podcasts.
No, I know. And that's, I'm sure that you probably get that a lot, like everywhere you go. Are you kind of like a novelty everywhere you go? Do people love it?
Yes.
Okay, so people do love it.
They do love it. Most people.
We love it.
Well, of course we love it. We were like, let's have Gabe. And that's not the only reason. We're not like, let's just have Gabe because he's a dude. No, you're immensely talented, and we want to talk to you all about your planner and, all kinds of other things because we have a lot of stuff in common. So, but let's start with, have you had a good week? What's your week been like?
I've had a good week. I was actually off today because we had parent-teacher conferences last night.
Oh, nice.
And so the way it works in my district is we have them from 1 to 8, and then we get the next day off.
1 to 8.
Yeah, that's a sweet setup.
It's very nice. And so a nice long weekend. I get to relax and recuperate from all the social interaction.
Do you teach before that in the daytime? Do you have regular school hours?
No, there's no teaching in the day, so they just kind of shift our hours to the evening.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow. Okay. So, and did you see every single one of your students' parents?
I did not.
No, they didn't all show up?
I am a math interventionist.
Oh, yeah.
So I teach smaller classes of, I wouldn't say struggling students, but they need some help, and their parents are usually difficult to get in the building. So I saw maybe a quarter of them.
Do you like your job? I mean, do you love doing that? Or?
Oh, I do. I love it. I love because it's smaller class sizes. I have about 10 to 12 kids, so I really get to know them and figure out what they're struggling with and how I can help them.
I had a class that was similar to that. I had a literacy class one year, so it wasn't math, obviously, because you would not want for me to math.
I should be in your class, actually.
Yes. If I were in what grade did you say it was? Middle school?
I have middle school. I see 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Oh,
yes.
Nice.
If I was in 6th, 7th, and or 8th grade, then I would totally be in that class. But I feel like that I had something similar when I taught a literacy class because it was struggling students, and it was only a class of about maybe 11 kids.
Okay.
And it was just, we were working on their reading skills, and that's sort of, they needed some remedial help. And I never got to meet not one of their parents.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. So I can see how they're not, the kinds of students that have parents that go to conferences, but getting to meet a quarter of them, I mean, that's pretty good, right?
That's huge. Yeah, this will be my 3rd year. Last year I saw maybe 4.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
And then the year before I saw like 1. So it's getting up there. I hope that's me doing well. They want to come talk to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you feel that the conferences were productive?
Oh, yes, they were.
Sometimes when I have conferences with parents, I don't know if it's, and when you do those conferences, are the students there or is it just you and the parent?
Usually it's just the parent.
Okay.
And I kind of have everything prepared of what we've done, where they're at, where I want them to go. So I can kind of lead the conversation where I need it to go.
Okay, because I have had conferences with parents where their student was present, and it was really just the parent wants for me to see them yell at their kid.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's the worst. That is the absolute worst.
Okay, watch me parent. I haven't parented at home, but you're going to watch me parent in front of you right now.
Right? And
then
you see the child like shrinking. Oh, it's the worst. I can't.
It really is so awkward. Those one-on-ones when the kid's not there are definitely better. And then you get a nice 4-day weekend because it's Veterans Day.
Yep.
which
Nice.
Caitlin had to remind me of the other day.
And she's like, I'm working. And I'm like, I don't think you are, dude.
I know. I was like, ooh, you have a 3-day weekend? You're so lucky. Congratulations. And she was like, you do too, dummy. Like, we're all off. None of us are working.
I should have let that go. I should have let you get all dressed for teaching and then like text you to see how your day is.
Like, hey, how's your day? Was there anybody at school when you got there? Surely one of
like rhythms of like doing your stuff, and then you're like, oh, yeah, that's right. That is today.
Yeah, well,
I've
surely
totally been there.
one of my students would have said something in between then and now about us not having school on Monday.
Right. They're always looking for days off. They're searching.
Oh,
Yeah, they
yeah.
are. Especially because no one was there today.
And we're coming up on Thanksgiving and all of the things. So the kids like recognize that there's basically no school in November.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it is. Everybody's coming up with like no shave November, no spend November. My students think it's no school November.
It's true. It's very
Yes. And we've had some very spotty, weird days off. So we only have 1 full week of school for the entire month of November.
true. Yeah, I think we have
Oh, wow.
2 weeks. That's it.
Yeah, so we've had a teacher work day every week. So we had one this week, we had one last week, and then this coming week we have Veterans Day, and then the following week is our 1 full week, and then it's Thanksgiving.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah. Yep. So, but that 3 weeks in between Thanksgiving and Christmas where there's no breaks is going to kill us. I mean,
It's
it is.
rough.
Yes, that is the longest 3 weeks ever.
Oh, no. The longest 3 weeks are in April when there is not
Oh.
one day off.
Right before spring break.
Yeah.
Woo!
April is a full month. That's the only month that we have that's full, and it is rough. I love my students. Don't get me wrong. If my administrators are listening, love them.
Of course you do. Of course you do.
But
But I mean,
month with not one day off. That is
well, and Gabe knows because Gabe doesn't work from home, Caitlin.
I do expect to work from home.
Yes, Caitlin works from home, so she can like roll out of bed in her jams and just
I'm
like
actually still in my jammies.
yes, and she can just tap on a computer, ticka 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 all day long with her kids. But
Can
you and I,
make that
Gabe,
sound effect again?
no, you get one, okay? So everybody can rewind it. But Gabe and I have to like put on pants and clothes and leave the house, and it's just
And
oh, well, Caitlin, have you had a good week?
I have had a great week, and it just got infinitely better because
Yes, talk about it, and I'm going to let you two talk about it because you both have gotten your packages and I have not. So just discuss it.
I just got #PlannerBabe.
Ooh.
And she's as pretty as I thought she was gonna be. I love everything in this box, and I'm like itching to film my haul video. And now I'm like, can January get here, please? I would like to start using this planner. She's so pretty. What do
Which
you
planner
think?
did you get?
Oh, I got the purple cover because purple is my jam. Purple is my thing. Which one did you get?
I got the striped one.
Oh, you're twinning with Stephanie.
Yes. It was part of that when they did their live and they kept saying cute
Yes.
and they had to do a giveaway. That's what I got that from.
Nice. You won part of the giveaway?
I did. That was kind of crazy.
Yay!
Oh my gosh, that is so interesting.
I did order the stickers though and some of the fill paper because that'll be hard to find in my stores.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Does a
for
lot of the
sure.
product come out to your store?
It does, but it's been getting like snatched up really quick.
Oh, you've got more planner friends in the area.
Yeah. Indiana and like the Chicago area. It's crazy.
I guess that
Oh,
makes
wow.
sense because there is the Chicago Planner Conference, so there's a whole gaggle of planner people around there.
Oh, totally.
Oh, and see, and I didn't even realize how big it was until we started talking about the Chicago Planner Conference. And I'm going, and I am so excited that you're going too.
I know, finally.
I know, and I'm just like, there's so many people that keep like coming out of the, the woodwork and saying that they're going, and I'm just like, I can't believe that I'm going to get to meet all of these people in person that I've, been watching their stuff on Instagram for all this time, and all this, it's like a dream come true. And Caitlin is just like, I'll just stay home because I don't really want to meet people in real life.
No, that's not true. So my thing is, and we were just talking about this. Travel is hard for me. Like I don't really like to fly, and not to say that my husband is not a competent parent, but like it's like Animal House when I get back. Like the kids are like, kind of dirty and their clothes are mismatched, but I know that they need to be fed and loved and like played with or whatever, but it's just not how mom does it, you know? And so I have a hard time leaving and having, you know, not having the mom finger on the button all the time.
One of the girls and I are going to bring a cardboard cutout of Caitlin's face to the Chicago Planner Conference. And we're just going to have all of our pictures taken with Caitlin, like right there with us in spirit. Because
I can't.
Yeah, because we wish that she was coming, but she's just like, I'm driving myself down to go wild. So I think that that's enough for the year.
Well, that's kind of, I tap out at like one event a year because I really am like a true introvert. I seem like outgoing and bubbly and all the things, but if you meet me in person, I'm like kind of a weirdo because I am the true sense of an introvert.
And it's really true because she was supposed to have a conversation with me last night, and because she was at a training all day long, she just finally said, I can't talk to you tonight.
I can't. I gotta
totally
recharge.
get that.
Yeah. So do you feel like that you're that way? Are you an introvert, Gabe? Do you like need to recharge after you've been around people all day?
Oh, definitely. That's why I like this day off after conferences. So I just need to do nothing and just recharge and kind of like listen to my music and like relax.
Well, you're lucky that you're in a district like that, because my school is totally different, because what we do is it's not necessarily conferences, but we have curriculum night is what they call it. We have to be at school from, I think it's like 5 to 8, and all the parents can just drop in whenever they want to meet us. It's not supposed to be a conference, but it almost always turns into one, because every parent that comes in wants to talk about their child specifically. They don't want to just talk about the class.
Yeah.
You know, they stand there and they talk to you for a little while, and then more parents come in and you try to talk about the class and you have to say the same thing over and over again for 4 hours. And then when they leave, it's 8:00 and you don't get home till 8:30, and the kids are, you know, hungry and everybody's cranky. And then you have to turn right around the next day and go back to work. Like, it's just, I would love to have a day off after those nights, because those nights are so hard. And that's after a whole day of teaching. So I love the way your district does it. That's amazing. I think that's fantastic.
I'm very lucky.
Well, I've had a pretty good week.
Oh, I forgot to ask. Have you had a good week?
No, it's okay. I'm going to tell you whether you ask or not.
Okay,
even if
share.
Even if you don't care, you're still going to hear it.
Share with the
So let me see. This week has been very similar to our Stephanie Fleming week, where everything went so fast that I didn't have time to like be nervous that we were going to be talking to Gabe. You know, like I kind of, you know, feel like I could fangirl out just a little bit, like, oh my God, I'm talking to Gabe, you know, but then at the same time, it was like, I did the notes. I sent them to him. I sent them to, well, I didn't send them to you apparently, Caitlin, because she asked me for them like 30 minutes ago, and I was like, oh crap, like, yeah, you can totally see what we're going to talk about on the show that you're about to do with us in half an hour. You're allowed to see.
I'll just wing it.
Yeah, it's funny because we made the notes together, Caitlin and I, like we discussed it. So I guess that's why I didn't feel like I needed. I don't know. It's just, but the week just kind of flew by, and I don't really feel like that anything all that remarkable happened. I don't say bad week or good week. It was normal, just teaching and getting up. And today, just like every other Friday, it was a package day. Fridays for me always end up being the kind of days where lots of stuff gets delivered. I don't really know why that is, but my husband didn't go to work today, so all the packages got delivered while he was home.
Uh-oh.
So, yeah. So today, instead of making a big deal about it, every time I saw that one was delivered, I just texted him and said, will you open that and take a picture of what's inside for me?
So cool. So not he was supportive. He's on board.
He was very supportive. So I got pictures all day long of like things that were in packages, which was really fun because I couldn't be home to open the packages. That was sweet of him to take pictures of my stuff. And it was all Erin Condren stuff.
Nice. Okay. Oh, yeah. Have you left the Happy Planner world?
Well, you know that I have a huge Happy Planner order that's supposed to be coming.
Oh, yeah, you did. You did. Okay. I got a little bit of anxiety because I'm like, oh no, don't leave. Don't leave.
Well, I mean, I spent like half a paycheck on Planner Babe, and I got expedited
I need to show
shipping.
up on your doorstep with the other Happy Planner missionaries and preach the Happy Planner gospel.
Look, you're going to have to preach really hard because you know what? That's what I did this week. I uncoiled and coiled Erin Condren planners. That's what I did this week. If you remember, listeners, when we talked to Julie, I talked about how scary that was for me. Well, I am a pro at it now, and I have the most perfect Erin Condren planner ever now because it's got 3 parts, all Franken planned together, and I'm not going anywhere for a while. So,
Nice.
yeah, but I do still have my happy planner that I use for things, and Planner Babe is coming. Yeah, you were on the phone with me when I put in that order, Caitlin.
I know. I have a case of the mid-30s. What can I say? I don't remember very much anymore.
Okay, Gabe, we have to ask, what is it like to be a dude in the planner community? Like, what does that entail? I mean, this is not like an interview question where we're trying to like pull like really detailed information out of you, but does it have its bad side? Like, do you feel like there's things that just aren't for you, or do you just kind of embrace all of the things? Like, what is it? How do you just your day to day with Happy Planner? Like, what is it? Just tell us all about it.
Okay, I kind of relate it to being a male in the education field.
Ooh, I love
So,
that.
like,
Oh, yeah.
elementary school is mostly, in my district, female. And middle school is like, there's a few more men. And it's like, oh, there's a man. He's teaching. And it's this big deal when I don't think it necessarily needs to be a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
So in the planner world, it was like, I started my Instagram and it's like, oh, it's a guy. Let's all go follow him. Let's give him all this attention because it's like the unicorn. So it's brought a lot of attention. And I've had to learn to kind of handle that appropriately because I don't view myself as anything special. I kind of just see it as I like to play with stickers. I like colorful things and stationery. And we're all kind of like share that. So it's like just a normal person. I'm grateful for all the attention and like the interaction, but I have to like remind myself like I'm just a normal person. Everybody will get that. Don't like freak out, or like when I've met people in stores, I've had screaming and like crying and shaking, and I'm like, it's okay.
Oh my gosh, it's like you're Michael Jackson.
I love that.
It took me it's happened a handful of times, and it's taken me a little while to get used to because I'm like, what are you screaming at? Who is behind me?
Right, like,
and I'm like, oh, it's me.
Oh, I love that. That's the sweetest.
So yeah, in real life, it's very much like that, and then online, it's a lot of like attention that way, and like I don't have to watch what I say, but I kind of have that in the back of my mind because I feel like there's a microscope because like there's the one man. What is he gonna say? What is he doing? What is he using? And kind of like people's opinions.
Yeah.
Has there been any negative interaction that you wish you didn't have to experience? Because I feel like we all may experience some of, the negative drama type things, but I'm wondering if it's a different like level of negativity or a different type of negativity for you.
I don't have the sort of, I thought of the negativity towards just in general is like this person. And I don't get like, oh, Gabe, this and that. It's more like men maybe shouldn't be doing this, or men shouldn't plan like that. So it's never been like specifically targeted towards me.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Oh, it's more like it's more like quiet almost, kind of.
Yeah,
quiet shade.
So it's like, oh, he uses a colorful planner, and everybody's like, happy planner, release a man planner, which for most people is like grays and blacks. It's very neutral.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm of the mindset I like what I like.
Exactly. What does it mean to be a man planner? That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, Happy Planner makes people planners.
Exactly. Yeah. And I heard Hannah say something that planner babe doesn't necessarily like reflect a gender. It's just like, oh, hey, babe, for everybody.
I call my husband babe all the time.
Exactly.
So a planner babe doesn't have to be a woman. That's kind of offensive to like think that it's just a woman because like, oh, she's a babe. Like, what is that? I don't know. Like, that's gross to me.
When you think about it, yeah.
Yeah, like that's kind of gross, but but when I call my husband that, it's like a term of endearment.
Right.
Exactly.
So, but when I feel like those 80s movies that were like so like not at all PC, they're like, oh, she's such a babe. I don't know. That's just that's not the same way that they're using planner.
Exactly.
Planner babe is not the same. And we don't necessarily have to say when we, talk about planner babes and planner bros, I mean, it's just, it doesn't have to be so, because there's a couple others in the community, and I like to see what they're doing too. One of the things that I wonder about is, I mean, do you like the wrong stuff and the stuff like that? Do you like to put the girls in your planner? I can't, it's only because I just can't remember because I see so many pictures on Instagram. Do you use that stuff in your planner, or do you not feel like that you can relate to that stuff, or how does that, do you like to put that stuff in there, or do you more kind of steer towards the bright colors and stuff like that?
I do like using it, but I don't like people in my planners.
Well, see,
just in general.
I feel the same.
It's a little creepy to me, but I'll still use it.
Well, and I was going to say not every wrong sticker has people on it, but I don't think that's true. I think every wrong sticker has a person on it.
That's true. No, some of them have cats and pumpkins.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, that's
coffee
true.
cup.
That's true. Coffee cups. Okay. So
shopping bags.
Yeah. So I like, I mean, every once in a while I'll do a spread that's covered in those wrong girls. And then, by about Thursday, I'm like, what? I wonder why I did this. It's just, okay, well, she's sitting here with her coffee cup and she looks cute up there, but I'm not really sure what she's doing in my planner.
Right. She doesn't look like me.
She doesn't look like me. But, at the same time, I don't have to put somebody who looks like me in my planner. They can look like anybody. I'm definitely more a fan of cartoonish looking people.
Oh, yeah.
If I'm going to put someone in my planner, I love that little dashboard that Happy Planner did with those little girls on it that are kind of stick figure.
Oh, yeah.
Those are really cute.
So
yeah, those are super cute. And I have really enjoyed using those because they don't look like anybody. I mean,
they're neutral. You can put them pretty much anywhere.
Yeah. And seriously, they look super cute. Like the one that's holding a balloon to note somebody's birthday. That's super cute. And anybody could use that. And they're just white paper. So it's not like there's anybody that's being left in or left out or whatever. But I just, it just feels like what the spreads of yours that I remember the most are the ones that are super colorful. And I love the way you can take your teacher planner and make it look not boring and still have room to write in your planner.
Yes, I love that too. I love your teacher planner, Gabe.
It's taken a lot of time to figure out what I like and what works.
Right.
Well, it's us too.
I know. I'm switching up my teacher planner here in just a minute.
You are?
Yeah, I'm going mini. That mini vertical is going to be my teacher planner.
Oh my God, please stop saying mini vertical.
Well, I only teach 3 different sections, right? So I'm going to put my lesson planning on each of the days. And then the monthly is going to hold my meetings. So I'm hoping that because the space is small, I can get out of a lot of meetings.
Yeah, I'm giving that a month, Caitlin. I'm sorry.
We'll see.
Listen to him. He's laughing because he knows there's no way that a teacher can plan on a mini vertical, but you can you give it a try.
Watch me work, girl. Watch me.
Yeah, all you have to do for Caitlin is tell her that she can't do something and she will make it amazing. You're going to have to answer this for me because I'm so behind on things, but do you have a YouTube channel, Gabe?
I do not.
You don't? Okay.
And that's one thing I've thought about.
Okay, so you haven't jumped on that bandwagon.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you totally should, because I bet you that it would blow up because, if you're getting people screaming at you in Michael's, then,
oh my God. That's the cutest thing I've ever heard.
I know. I love that so much.
Could you even imagine, though? I'd be like, you have got to be quiet. You have got to stop drawing attention to me because I don't even have on makeup right now.
Oh my gosh. But seriously, if I was with someone that did that in front of you, I would say to them, you are not acting like a person that I want to know.
What are you doing?
He's just a person.
I know. Well, that's what I love about you, Gabe, is I always feel when we're talking in the DMs, it's always very genuine and it's an easy flowing conversation. And I don't necessarily feel like that with everybody in the planner community, especially people with bigger followings. So I just see you as one of my friends.
I like to keep it like that.
And I always tell people, anybody who has ever said anything to me that was like, oh my God, I'm fangirling right now because I'm talking to SpicedPlans. I'm like, I'm just an
No.
overweight school teacher.
I'm like, what are you talking about? Have you seen the state of my house lately? Like,
Yeah, like if you could see how much laundry there is that needs to be done around here, you would so not like feel that way at all. So,
it's a very
oh my
strange
gosh.
feeling. Definitely relate to that.
Yeah.
So, do you miss being on the squad?
Oh,
I do and I don't.
Okay.
I feel like I put more pressure on myself when I was on the squad. Like posting more often because there's a spotlight on you and
Mhm.
all of these people are going to come to your page and see things and go to the Facebook group and stuff like that. So I do miss it because I miss the interaction with like the company and all the other girls, but I still interact with all of them.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we're all like good friends and we still talk in our group and
You guys had a great
text
group
and
too.
DM. It was a really good group. There's a lot of people.
Mhm.
That is so many people. And really, when you think about it, 21 people is a lot of people.
But
Oh,
really,
yeah.
I feel like, not to say anything bad about this year's squad because I think they're all so great, but like last year's squad, there was just something really special about you guys. Like as a group, I felt really connected to you guys as a group.
I could see that, and it was part of because some of the girls had already been in it.
That's true.
And so where there was like that instant like, oh, we already know them and now there's these people and that was probably part of it. I really like all the girls this, I guess, term you would call it.
Yeah, I do as well. Like Siobhan
Yeah.
is great and a whole bunch of the other girls and their names are escaping me because, got a case of the mid-30s, but they're great.
Yeah, I know, because when I try to list them, I'm just like, LB Novelties and Twinkle Plants Your Day and
Kayla.
Plan on It and
all the things.
Creating with Sarah. Yeah, all those folks. Like I enjoy their posts. You know what I mean? I really
And they're
do.
all super talented.
Yes, they are. And there's something about the squad. I feel like that the way that the Happy Planner does it, and you'll have to tell us about this because we don't know because we are not on the squad. But, I think that maybe the Happy Planner would give you guys projects to do. Is that right?
Well, when I was on it, it was like a theme.
Ooh,
so
like a
it
theme
was
of the
like,
week.
or like the month. They'd be like, maybe it was back to school. And so whatever you would use or would like to do that was just following that theme. So it wasn't exactly, for the whole month. So it wasn't exactly, you're going to show us your classic size Happy Planner using this. It was just, here's our theme. What would you use and what do you do that would fit that?
Oh my gosh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, for me most of the time, it was just what I normally would do. So it wasn't like I was trying too hard or like sending them something to post that I'm not really using.
Yeah.
A lot of us is just, this is how we do it.
Because, I hear them, well, I don't hear them, but, there are times that they mention like it's a squad project or something like that. And I'm interested to know like in what kind of criteria they're given because the results are good. You know what I mean?
Very good.
Like the posts are really good. And they were last year. The stuff that you guys posted last year, I mean, that was quality stuff, Like I can totally see why the Happy Planner wanted to post that stuff on their feed because the stuff that you guys were posting represented the brand really well. So it's like they did a really good job sort of curating a group of people that had a similar aesthetic that they could say, okay, now we want for you guys to do this. And then you could all take the products and do that. And it all just sort of was cohesive to the look of the brand. I don't know. It's really amazing.
It is. Yeah.
The way it turns out. And, you fit right in. I mean, it's just you guys, all of you just had the same. And I'm not saying that you all had the same style or the same look. I mean, I could definitely look at a spread by you and tell that it was you. It worked for Happy Planner. It was just, you went with them to squad boot camp. I'm guessing that was like an amazing experience.
It was very intense. Traveling by myself, flying by myself, and then a big group of women and going to California for the first time and like the differences of like California and I'm in Illinois and it was a lot at first. It took some getting used to, but it was like 2 or 3 days. So for me, it was like very quick.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of couldn't like feel anything till afterwards. I was like, oh my God, I like went to this whole experience and met all these wonderful people, learned all of this new stuff. It was just crazy. It was lovely.
It would have been like a whirlwind.
Yeah.
Right.
Would you have applied to be on the squad again if you guys had been allowed to do so?
I would have.
Was it kind of like wah wah when they said that it's only going to be open to people who haven't done it before, or were you kind of, I mean, because I've talked to Heather and she said that there was like moments after you guys learned this information that you were all kind of like, well, what are we supposed to do now?
For me, I understood why they did it. They want new
Yeah.
people and like new stuff, and things change and everybody kind of evolves. I didn't really like get sad or anything because it was still kind of like in the whirlwind of like still being in it, and like
Mm-hmm.
everybody's still going kind of crazy for me, I guess you could say.
No, they totally were.
It's not like you've stopped growing. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
your following has continued to grow, so it hasn't like stunted you in any way.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have sort of like an identity crisis afterwards? Because I know that there were some that were like, well, what am I supposed to do with myself now that I'm not a squad member anymore? I mean, or did you just continue doing what you were doing and just, I'm playing with Gabe and then this is just, you know.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. I just kept doing the same thing. I just didn't post as often because I was like, I'm going to take a break from 2 and 3 and 4 posts a day. Let me stick to my one, put my little rainbows on it, and just kind of relax a little bit.
Oh, I love all the rainbows. And I love that the Happy Planner has so many different rainbows.
Oh, yes. There's so much to choose from.
Yeah,
I know.
Next, they need some glitter rainbows. That's what needs to happen next.
Ooh, they
Yes.
haven't done glitter in a while.
Yeah, I know. Everything needs to have glitter on it. But not my house. I don't need glitter in my house. I don't need no. We've talked about this
Plastic-covered
before.
glitter that won't fall anywhere.
Yes, I need smooth glitter. Smooth glitter like what you get in like a bottle of nail polish, okay?
Exactly.
Nothing gritty around here. Oh my gosh. They do have a lot of interesting rainbows, and they've been doing rainbows with all kinds of different colors, and they definitely embrace that. So yeah, there's a lot there for rainbow love and heart for sure. Can you believe this year? I mean, if you look back at 2019, the amount of product that the Happy Planner has released this year is
ridiculous.
just astonishing.
It's crazy.
Well, I mean, if you look at my bank account, I believe it.
Oh my gosh. And if you look at my craft room, holy crap. I mean, like it is just seriously. And it's like every couple of days, I'm like, well, I'll just pick up another planner. It's fine.
And more are coming. Like there are rumors saying that more are coming in December. Like what is happening?
That's
I know.
crazy.
And whatever is coming in December better be ugly.
You know it's going to be like the best. Like it's going to be the one that you want. Because a lot of people were saying the recent release in October that there wasn't a planner that, well, I guess not a lot of people, but some people were saying there weren't planners that like spoke to them, or they didn't have enough verticals or enough horizontals or whatever people wanted. So I'm wondering if this is like the release where everybody gets their planner, but they settled for all these other ones.
No, they all speak to me, every single one of them.
Really? See, there are planners that definitely don't speak to me. Like that one with the cow skull in the front, I can't.
I have that one.
No, I can't do it.
That's the cover that is on my Happy Planner right now, Caitlin.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't have dead animals on my
Now that you put it like that.
do it. Also, that cat, it freaks me out. I cannot. That black French cat, I cannot do it.
Okay, so you're just going to sit here and just diss all of the Happy Planner choices that I have made.
No, I love Home Potty and I love Stargate. Those ones
I'm sorry, but that cat on Ooh La La is so cute. And I'm putting up a flip through of Ooh La La on my YouTube channel next week. So you better hit that button, that thumbs up. Mm-hmm.
Hashtag thumbs down.
No.
Ooh, the planner tea.
I'm telling you.
Oh my gosh, the shade of it all, Caitlin. How can you not? How can the Happy Planner release anything that you don't like? I can't believe it. Like I'm gonna call Stephanie and tell her.
Do it. I think that's why she releases so many, is because there is some things for some people and some things are not for some people.
Yeah.
No, when she finds out that you don't like that cat, she's
When I
be
haven't
very,
bought
very
every single planner she's ever made.
Mm-hmm. She's gonna say, "Well, that cat is my cat, Caitlin." She's gonna say they modeled that cat.
No future squad applications for me.
Oh my gosh. Well, so we've talked a little bit about teaching, but we do have a little segment on the show, Gabe, called
Tales
Tales from
from
Teaching.
You
And
laugh.
we,
Okay, it's ridiculous.
I know, and we do it in that stupid voice. And every time I do the editing, I'm like, we didn't say that at the same time at all. Yeah. So, because sometimes they're scary stories and sometimes they're not like that. Caitlin, I need to tell you, I didn't go to the staff meeting this week.
No, you didn't. Leanne
So,
has not gone to one staff meeting this year. Not one.
no, I have not. I have not been to one staff meeting or one department meeting all school year. And I have set
You
forth
go
a
to your
challenge.
PLC meetings? Like, what are you doing?
I don't have a PLC. It's just me.
Okay.
I get that. I'm kind of
There's-
like that in my school.
There's nobody else at my school that teaches what I teach. I am an island.
Ooh, hashtag island.
Yes. In fact, the other day we were supposed to, on our teacher work day, it was supposed to be a required teacher work day.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Nope.
the district required us to be there. So I
Leanne was
showed
not
up. I showed up and I signed in, but I brought my children with me.
Oh no.
And I went into my trailer because I teach in a mobile unit. And yeah,
Keep it
see,
classy.
Caitlin works from home, but
Yeah.
I teach in a mobile unit. So everybody knows
Keep it
that's
classy.
going on. That's going on all of our merch. Caitlin works from home.
And Leanne works in a mobile unit.
And I work in a mobile unit. But I love my trailer, so you guys can just hush. But that mobile unit is bomb. That I was supposed to meet with a PLC for this required teacher workday, and let's just say that I don't have a PLC, so I showed up and signed in, and I went to work for a little while, and I did some stuff in my classroom, and then I was like, okay, it's time to go. And then I left because I didn't have anything to do. So, I mean, it's like required workday. What am I supposed to do? Do you have a PLC, Gabe?
I don't. I'm the only teacher in my district that does what I do.
You're the only one in the whole district.
In the whole district. We have 3 elementary schools, and then I'm in the middle school. So I'm the only math interventionist.
Wow,
So
that's
I'm
amazing.
I'm an island as well.
Okay, so you know how I feel. Well, I teach film and creative writing in high school.
Okay.
And I think that there may be another film teacher, but I think that their film class doesn't start until second semester, maybe. And I teach the A day, B day, so my classes are year long.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but anyway, do you have any any kind of funny tales from teaching that you can share with us?
Yes, because we love those things.
Yes.
I don't know necessarily if it's anything funny, but we reviewed graphing the other day, and I'm like trying to figure out why my students aren't getting it, and I had to realize that they were forgetting their rights and their lefts. So I went to YouTube and pulled up a song, and I felt bad because it was very elementary school, but they loved it, and we were singing and dancing to YouTube for our rights and our lefts and our ups and downs and overs and unders, and I have to remind myself, okay, bring it down.
Yeah, and sometimes they don't get those soft skills at home, so sometimes you have to totally kind of take it back down a little bit. I have
Caitlin
literally wild animals over here. I am sorry.
Happening. Is everything okay? Do you need to go? Or are you all right?
I'm good. I'll just may have to mute my microphone here every once in a while.
Okay, no problem. Are they playing? Are they having fun?
I think they're trying to aggravate me through the door. Like the kids do. They just, they're just trying to get attention. It's attention-seeking behavior. I have an almost 12-year-old and a 4-year-old. So they definitely have some behaviors that they're both doing at these ages.
Well, that's okay. It's okay because this is a very real show. So, I mean, Gabe, we have a corner of the show called Guinea Pig Corner. He's like, what is this show that I've agreed to be on? I thought this was a planner podcast. Yeah, no, we are not necessarily an all planner podcast. We are a planner girl podcast because Caitlin and I are both planner girls. So we talk about our lives and the stuff that's behind our planners.
Okay.
And so my daughter brought home her class guinea pig not too long ago, and we just fell in love with it. So we got one for our family too. And there was one day, I don't know if it was just during a recording when it was just the two of us, or if we had a guest on
No,
the show.
it was both. It was just us.
It was just us? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, but the guinea pig was making noise. And when I went back in to do the editing, I was like, there's nothing that I can do. Like, we're talking and there's just guinea pig sounds in the
It
background.
was
Like,
actually
there's just,
very cute. I really liked it.
I mean, it's just, she's got kid noises. Occasionally, my kids will just come in and use the bathroom, like in here. I don't understand. Now, I don't usually leave that in, but you know.
Makes you really want to have children, Gabe.
Yeah, like, or get a guinea pig.
Yeah. Right. No pets.
Do you have pets?
I don't have pets.
Okay, well, that's probably for the best.
Yeah.
You are an uncle, though. Is that right? I think I've seen pictures of your nephew, niece.
Yep. My nephew and niece. I have a 12-year-old nephew and a 5-year-old niece.
Oh, perfect. Cool.
Yep.
Oh, those are good ages.
Except that's the same boat that I'm in.
The 12-year-old's feeling his sort of teenager vibes and like doesn't want anything to do with us and like leave me alone.
You don't understand me, and you're like,
exactly.
Wow, at 12? No.
No, it's still, there's a lot of sass at 12.
Yeah. They're starting earlier and earlier.
No.
Yeah, Delilah started like losing it, but I think it's like I can watch the hormonal shift. She started to kind of lose her little kid niceness at around 9.
No, my son is 8. Like, that's where we are right
Well,
now.
I think it's going to be different and I guess it's kid personality. It has less to do with gender and more to do with kid personality.
Yeah.
But I've noticed with my 9-year-old, my 12-year-old, when she was a 9-year-old, there was like girl drama that she got sucked into. But with Harrison, I feel like he's going to be just really headstrong and like very energetic. But I have heard, and this is so dumb, I kind of hate it when people say that, but like people say that boys have all that energy when they're young and then they're not quite as challenging in the teen years. But again, varies kid personality to kid personality. But girls maybe are like easier to manage as young kids, and then the drama happens. But that's just what they say.
Okay. Well, I'm just not even going to try to make predictions about mine. That's what I'm going to do.
You got to take it as it comes.
So, how's the 5-year-old though?
She's good. She started kindergarten recently, and her big thing was, my family we're all supporting each other and helping each other out. So she has a lot of people to like kind of help her along the way. And she struggled with, why don't other kids behave in school?
Oh,
which is a conversation I never thought I would need to have with her. But I'm like, well, some people's parents are not there to teach them how we've all helped you out and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
some people's parents suck, and your family's awesome. I mean, how do you say that to a 5-year-old without like sounding horrible? No, I totally get it, and I feel like that my daughter went through the same thing because she went to a little like church school before she went to real school, and she just like when she was 3, she went to like this little church school, and everybody was like super chill. And then when she went to regular school, she was like, sometimes people don't do what the teacher says.
Yeah.
Some people don't do what the teacher says.
And I'm just like, well, sometimes people don't do what their mommies say.
I need a t-shirt that says some people don't do what the teacher says.
Yeah.
Just like, well, because I'm also a middle school teacher. So like, no, they don't.
Yeah, you guys have that age in common. That middle school age is so scary. I don't even know. Like, I'm scared to get there with my own 2. I can't imagine teaching them every day. That middle school age is rough.
I only do it because I don't have to see their goofy faces in person every day and like manage their behaviors in person. Yeah. That's the only reason why I agreed to go to middle school.
The behaviors are fun. The smells are interesting.
Oh my God. Do you have air fresheners in your classroom? Hopefully, yes.
We're not allowed to, I think, legally.
Oh.
So it's a lot of Clorox wiping really quick in between classes and like fun talks that they don't
Yeah.
really, when you're going to college, like, I'm going to be a teacher. They don't teach you all that kind of stuff.
Right.
They
Be like,
don't.
bro, you got to have your mom buy you some deodorant this weekend, or I got
Yep.
some, hook you up. Like,
Yeah, like keep some sticks in your desk and gift
Yeah.
it to them or something. I don't know.
that sounds like it belongs in the nurse's office. That doesn't sound like it's in my job description.
Yeah, but then you have to get another adult involved, and that's like another level of embarrassment. Like
Yep.
sometimes we have this thing at my school called trusted adult.
Ooh.
Yes, and this is going to be like, I'm not trying to like bring us down, but did you know that if kids have at least 2 trusted adults in their life, then they're 80% less likely to die by suicide?
I believe that for sure.
I do too.
Yes, and that is one of the reasons why we have this at my school is they have kids identify. I mean, we do like a little survey at the beginning of the year where the kids go into the computer and take a little survey and identify at school their trusted adult. And then we are notified, here's the kids that have, said that you're their trusted adult. And there are times when we can meet with them and chat with them, and they're kind of given permission if they need something to come and see us or whatever like that. Just because, and I have a lot of students that tell me like, you're my trusted adult, and I'm totally honored to do that. Because I just feel like that I'm, doing them a service, like if they ever need, and it's not like personal stuff outside of school, it's not like I would ever, I don't go to their house. I'm not their trusted adult outside of school, but when we are on campus, if they need something or they want to talk about something, and I feel like that those are the kinds of kids that, if one of them was like having a smell, then I could say, well, it's possible that you're not making a lot of friends right now because you really don't, you might want to work on your hygiene just a little, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
Right.
I'm their trusted adult and we could talk about those kinds of things. And those are the kind of relationships that we have.
Mhm.
And I think that, if all of the schools would implement something like that, that we could, lessen the amount of, teenagers that die by suicide. So I think that it's great that my school is taking the time to do that. It's an extra responsibility that we have as teachers at my school, but it's one of the things that I love the most.
Well, yeah, I used to work at an alternative school, and we not only were there trusted adult at school, but we would do the outside of school stuff. We would make home visits, or
Really?
they could text us outside of school, and if they were in a dangerous situation, and we would like call the cops or text DHS or whatever. But yeah, there are some things that they don't teach you in grad school that you have to do, and that you really take these kids and they're your family, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Wow, that's
they
awesome.
become your babies.
I love that. I mean, there are some that have occasionally reached out to me outside of school for things, but I've always gotten my principal involved.
Yeah.
Just because, I want to make sure that everything that I do is above board.
Sure.
But they've been situations that, once the principal was involved, we chatted about things and figured out, what we needed to do next. And, luckily everything has always turned out all right. But, bringing things back up and getting back to Gabe's tales from teaching.
You're right.
I need to watch that video because I too have a problem with my left and my right.
Are you serious?
I mean, I do know the difference, but it's funny because I'll point to the left, like when I'm giving somebody directions in a car, I'll be like, you need to go right, and I'll point left, and they're like, wait, which one? Or am I going left? Or am I going right? You said right, but you pointed left, and I'm like, wait, I don't know.
Okay, well, this is good to know because we're going on a road trip in April.
Well, luckily the GPS can navigate better than I can.
Yeah, so you just sit there and look pretty, and I'll listen to the GPS.
Well, that I can do, baby. So, but no, my husband has made fun of me our entire relationship because I don't know my left or my right. So that may be part of the reason why I have such a hard time with graphs.
Love it.
I mean, if a teacher had only just figured out that I needed to know my left or my right, but you can hold up the little L with your left hand, and that's kind of the way I taught my children. And then my husband was like, you have no business teaching these children left from right. Like, you will teach them wrong and they will never know.
Well, when I was going to school, I feel like all the math teachers, they were really good at math, and they couldn't bring it back down to the level for kids to really understand it. And so I feel like
Mm-hmm.
that's where like math has improved for younger kids. Like I feel like there's
Yeah.
a lot of people who weren't necessarily like math majors in college or like wanted to work in the business sector. They really want to teach, and so they learn how to teach math before they really like dig deep into those upper level math concepts.
Well, it's hard to teach. I mean, people are always like those that can't do teach, and
Oh,
I don't think that
Oh,
that's true.
stop it. Yeah.
not
I'm
at all.
sorry. It's so much easier to do something than it is to teach someone else how to do it. I
Right?
mean,
Yeah.
It
let's
pays
be
better.
honest.
It pays better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, it is hard. It is way easier for me to write an essay than it is to teach someone else how to write an essay. I mean, it's just
Mhm.
true. And I can write a really good essay, and I have learned now how to teach other people how to write essays. But that was hard. It was on the job learning. There was no way. It is difficult to train teachers. I mean, you
Hmm.
know, education school, when you go to school to be a teacher, it is so much of it is just hypothetical.
Yeah.
It's just, well, maybe you'll end up in a situation like this, so here's what you would do or whatever. And then when you actually get to your classroom for the first time, that's when you really start to learn.
Exactly. That's what I was
Yeah.
going to say. There should be so much more field work and less theory in education programs, if I'm being 100% honest. Because even in my student teaching, I was like, oh, yeah, this is cool. Like, I'll just watch you and observe you. And, like, you're going to, like, take the lead. But then when I got my own classroom, and my first classroom by myself was at an alternative ed program for gang intervention kids, I was like, whoa,
Oh.
okay, here we go.
Yeah. Well, I had no idea that I wanted to be a teacher, so I went in what they call lateral entry. Do you guys have that?
Nope.
No.
Okay. Well, what it means is I didn't get my teaching license while I was in college. I just got
Mm.
my degree in English.
Oregon does not
And
allow that.
okay, okay, so I got my degree in English,
Cool.
which means that I took way more literature classes than people who got their degrees in like English education, because
Hmm.
Okay.
it turns out what you have to have English education is like three classes of English and like some grammar.
Yeah,
So
I think that's what they recommend for most like secondary like content area teachers is that you have a bachelor's in your content area.
right, so I
Yeah.
have my bachelor's in my content area, and then I worked in like the corporate environment for a while
Hmm.
after I graduated and hated it. I mean, talk about the shade of it all. Um, so then I decided, having half of my family are teachers, and I remember I went on a family trip, and one of my cousins was like so tan, like she had been at the beach like half the summer. And I was like, girl, what are you doing? And she was like, well, I haven't had to work since June.
What?
And I was like, oh my God, that's right. You're a teacher. And she was like, yeah, you could do it too. So I went as soon as we got home from that trip and started applying to schools. And North Carolina has a program called lateral entry. So they let me start teaching. And I had 3 years to get my license because my specialty was in English.
Hmm.
So
Ah.
they send you to this thing called boot camp.
Oh, snap.
Ooh.
Yes, where you go for this 2-week intensive teacher training.
Hmm.
And then
Are
they
there
just,
are there kids there?
no, it's just you and like everybody else. No,
I'm
it's
imagining
you.
like they grab like the really struggling kids, we'll call them, for lack of a better word, and, like plop them down in front of you, and you've got like your fatigues on and like your black eye makeup, and you're like, solve this problem immediately.
No, here, do push-ups in front of this child.
While they're jumping on the desk and trying to access your teacher phone.
Like, that would have been better. That would have been better training than what I actually got. But it's 2 weeks of you in the room with all of these other crazy people who've decided that they want to be teachers too, that don't have any teacher training. So you're just sitting there for 2 weeks, and they give you all these hypothetical situations of what might happen in your classroom. And then they just throw you into a classroom, just,
That's terrifying.
yep, head first. Here you go. So
Wow.
yep. So I started with no, what do they call it? Student teaching?
Yeah, and education theory. You didn't
none
touch.
of it. I didn't know anything. I didn't know how to write a lesson plan. I didn't know anything. They just threw me in and said,
Okay,
go.
but really, who writes a lesson plan every day? Like, if you're a teacher
Yeah.
out there, like, DM us and tell us if you write a lesson plan every day. I might write an outline if I'm being observed.
Yeah.
Well, I wrote a lesson plan every day when I first started because I needed to figure out I had no idea what I was going to do. And I remember I made a friend, which was good, but I made a friend, another English teacher friend, and I called her after my third day and I said, am I always going to dread going to work this way?
Mm-hmm.
Is it always going to be this way? Am I always going to be like hating this and feeling like I'm going to die? And she was like, and she said, no, you will get used to it and it will be fine.
I get used to it.
I also need a t-shirt that says that. You will get used to it.
No, not the feeling of dread, but the job.
They will beat you down and you won't notice anymore.
You will grow numb to the feeling of dread eventually. So, but I did eventually get used to the job, and now I love the job, and I wouldn't want to do anything else. But they did just throw me in and say, figure it out. And then as I was teaching, I went and I got my teaching license and then some. So I got even more.
I love that, like, backwards method. Like, seriously,
Yeah.
be in the classroom first and then be like, oh, this is how the theory applies to this kid in the classroom.
Yes. I feel like that my teacher education, that I did better in those classes because I was in the classroom at the same time that I was taking them.
Yeah, I bet you did.
And because when they make you write lesson plans and unit plans and stuff like that in all those pedagogy classes, I was writing lesson plans and unit plans that I could actually use in the classroom instead of just like hypothetical ones that I would never use.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you guys have to complete a work sample for your teacher requirements?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I don't even know where that thing is. Like, if anybody from any board of education program is listening, can we just not do those anymore? Because they're really not useful.
I don't know what that is, so no.
It's like a binder of like lesson plans and demographics and like your everything that you taught during your student teaching, essentially. And you have to like turn it in, and then there's like a typed up kind of thesis, but basically an explanation for things.
Oh, yeah, maybe so.
But it's like worthless, I think.
It takes a lot of work for them to
It
be
does.
like, okay.
Yeah,
Here's-
and my
here's your
supervisor like put
certificate.
a stamp on it, and he's like, "Oh, okay." Like, didn't even flip through it, and I was like, "Are you serious? Is this what's happening right now?"
Oh, okay. Well, Caitlin, do you have any tales from teaching that are funny for this week?
Well, they're not funny, but my heart is bursting with my little Avid kiddos again. So we are starting our tutorial sessions, and if you don't know much about Avid, part of it is that they come to a tutorial session every week, and they have to fill out this thing called the tutorial request form, which it's a challenge because you basically have to break down like a question, like anything you're stuck with, into an actual point of confusion, like a very specific question, and then bring that to class. And so they've all been so cute and like calling me today, and like we've been walking through their TRFs is what we call them. And like they've been asking really good questions, and they're all so excited. And we just finished training all of their tutors, and my heart is bursting, and I'm just so proud of my little Avid babies.
Well, that's good. That's good to be proud of them.
Yeah, I'm so excited, and I'm stoked to start tutorials next week, and like we get to start grading their binders and doing the real like Avid work.
I don't really have a tales from teaching.
None.
I mean, I do. I mean, I didn't go to the staff meeting this week.
Maybe you don't have one because you keep missing your meeting.
Well, I mean, staff meetings are not teaching.
I know, it's true.
I was in my classroom every minute this week that I had students in there, and some.
Ooh, so you covered testing for some guy, didn't you? Was that
yes, I did. Nope. I have to proctor a test next week. I mean, like, there's a lot of stuff going on. But so it's funny, in my film class, we watched Life of Pi. Do you guys know that film?
Good one.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. It's directed by Ang Lee.
Mm-hmm.
And it has this sort of twist at the end where you find out like the truth about the story that he's told the whole time.
Okay.
And I won't spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it, but definitely watch it. So there's a twist at the end where you find all this stuff out. And to watch their faces, because a lot of times I find myself watching them watch the movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
weird, isn't it? I mean,
No,
like,
I think that you're observing, like you're observing student behavior. I do that too.
yeah, well, I mean, I have to pay attention to them. I can't just like turn the lights off and ignore them.
And start texting all your planner friends.
Well, I mean, I do text you some during class, and
True.
sometimes if you call me during writing while they're writing, I'll answer.
Yeah.
But because in my creative writing class, they write a lot. I mean, that seems to be what we do in there.
Right.
And sometimes I will text Caitlin and say, "Oh my God, they're writing again."
Just like, is that what they're supposed to be
Like,
doing?
these kids are writing again. They're always
know.
writing, and then
But
I realize,
do you have
I'm their
like
teacher.
standards though that like you're working with, or because they're electives, is it a little bit different, like a little bit more?
Well, I don't have standards that the state has given me, but I personally have set standards for them. Yes.
That's right. We've talked about this before.
Okay.
I remember now.
I have decided what I want for them to learn and what I want for them to do.
Mm-hmm. I was just thinking about that because you have a full elective schedule, which is pretty sweet.
Yes, I do. But I am very much like, this may be an elective class, but you can't just elect to not pay attention to me.
That is not an elective option.
Yes. So you signed up for this. So you're going to write creatively and you're going to watch these movies. So a lot of times I will kind of just watch them watch the films because I choose films specifically because I know that they're going to bring a reaction or they brought a reaction in myself in some way. And, the ones that, when you get to the end of Life of Pi, that's my tales from teaching this week, is that we got to the end of Life of Pi and all of their like brains exploded a little bit. Like they were like, oh my God. And just like to watch them look at each other and just say, but you know what I mean? Like when they all have this moment where they hear the end and then they're, and then when the movie ends and they're all just like, oh, that was so good. And everybody just kind of like, there's this like murmur across the room. Like it's just, teaching film is so interesting, and getting to write the curriculum is kind of a dream come true. So, all right, we're going to move to your currently page. I hope you're ready. Do you have it like ready to go? Do you have all of your currently things like ready for us? Because
I do.
This is our fun. This is like my favorite part of the show is when we get to like find out all of the things that you're doing. So we're going to start with reading. Are you reading anything good right now? What are you reading?
I am not reading anything. I don't like reading.
Oh, you just hurt our English teacher hearts.
Hashtag math teacher.
Oh, definitely. I'll read like in the summer, but like during the school year, I'm like, no books, nothing, just no books.
Well, that's fine. You can say that you're reading the captions on Instagram photos.
As I scroll through aimlessly.
That counts.
That counts. That totally counts. You're reading your DMs when people are like, I have the tea. Do you want to hear this tea?
It's hot tea.
Well, that's okay. You don't have to be reading anything. Do you have a currently page in your planner that you fill out?
I do.
You do. So do you put that in your currently page, like when on the reading, like nothing, just not?
Oh, I'll just white it out or put a sticker over it so I don't see it.
Oh my God, I love that.
Love it.
So what do you think is the last book that you read, or what is the last thing that you read, or you just don't do that?
I read a few books over this summer, and I read some with my nephew to kind of like question him about things, and they take their AR test and just to make sure he's doing what he's supposed to be doing.
Okay, so you do a little bit. It's not like you're okay. So
not out of enjoyment.
Reading with little kids totally counts.
Yeah, that totally counts. So you guys stopped reading Watchmen?
Well, it's a graphic novel, so it's difficult to like read it, and I read stuff out loud to Brian. So reading a graphic novel and having to like share it, do a read aloud in bed is kind of hard.
Ooh.
Hashtag tales from teaching.
Oh my God.
Okay, sorry. That's for the After Dark show.
Nope, it's all going in, baby. It's all going in. So, how about this? Hopefully, are you watching anything, Gabe? What are you watching?
I have been obsessed with the new American Horror Story. 1984.
Oh, me
I'm like 2 episodes behind, but I'm loving it.
Okay,
I love
so
the like 80s nostalgicness of it all, from what I can remember.
Oh, I cannot watch that show. It's too scary for me.
it's not that scary.
I don't think it's that scary.
Everybody says it's very terrifying, and I can't even watch things like I Know What You Did Last Summer without being up all night.
Oh, I Know What You Did Last Summer is so much scarier than American Horror Story.
I can't. I'm like a Disney, and then like a rom-com. Like that's my sweet spot.
But yet you're watching like Mr. Robot and Watchmen and stuff like that. So you've got an edgy side. I know it's not scary, but
yeah.
yeah, you've got an edgy side. But no, I'm watching American Horror Story 1984 too. So I'm watching that as well. And I am also 2 episodes behind. So we are probably in exactly the same place. So I'm going to start, you know what? I'm going to start DMing you when I'm watching.
Started a watch party.
I know you're going to be like, leave me alone. Why did I tell her that I'm watching this?
This is my day off, Leanne. Get out of my DM.
I know. Now that I've talked to this girl on her podcast, she will not stop with the DMs. She thinks we're besties or something. Just because we're watching the same thing. Yeah, I am watching that. And my husband's watching it too, but we're not watching it together. And he's caught up. So, yeah, I know. So he's constantly like, when are you going to catch up? And I'm like, well, when are you going to watch these children so that I can watch something besides, YouTube channel? Because like my kids watch these like YouTube videos. That's all that we wanted. That's all that they ever want to do.
Do they watch children playing with toys? Do they watch other kids playing with toys?
They watch other children playing with toys.
What is that?
That is what they do on YouTube. Yes.
My daughter used to do that when slime was a thing. I'm like, you're literally watching someone else like move slime around. Like, what are we doing right now?
Well, I finally had to tell my daughter, you know how, the people in your YouTube videos, they're YouTube famous. Like that's what they are. I mean, these people that just play with toys, like these people are like millionaires now.
Yeah, one kid has like his own toy line at Target.
Ryan, are you talking about Ryan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That kid.
Yeah. Do you know him, Gabe, too? Do you know him?
My niece knows him, and I've seen the toys.
Gabe will not claim that. He's like, no, I do not know him.
No, he had to put it on his niece when he's like watching Ryan's toys review.
That's what I do after work.
Thumbs up.
I gotta give it a thumbs up. No, my kids, and then there's another family called FGTV.
Nope.
Nope. Okay. Well, you're
No
lucky.
idea.
All right. Well, you guys are super lucky. You know what? I'm jealous. I'm jealous that.
Who's that guy in the suspenders that's also on Amazon?
I forget his name.
Oh my gosh, what is his name? Super creepy. Anyways, there's some other guy that my kids like to watch too, and I'm like, oh no.
People are like screaming at their radios right now, like trying to tell us who it is.
Send me.
Yeah. Because I don't know who that is. Maybe my kids haven't found that person yet.
It's like bouncy or it's not boozy. That's what I was gonna say. Something like that. It's like a 1-syllable name.
I don't know who that is. My kids haven't discovered that one, thankfully. But no, I mean, and it's funny because when they first started watching that stuff, I hated it. Like I was just, every time they would put it on, I just like would gnash my teeth. And now I'm like, find myself looking over, just watching it too. And I look up and realize I've been staring at it for 5 minutes. Like, why?
Oh my God.
Why am I watching this? So I don't, it's like an acquired taste. Like I don't hate it like I used to. I've gotten used to it. But no, when my husband asked me, he's like, why are you not caught up on American Horror Story? I'm like, because all I watch is Ryan's Toys Review and FGTV and all this YouTube stuff with my kids.
I got it.
And
it's Blippi.
Oh.
That guy.
I had to say it before I forgot. I'm sorry. I really do have a taste of the mid-30s.
I don't know what that is at all.
Oh,
You're
don't
lucky.
watch it ever. Don't watch it.
Well, I don't know.
Don't tell them about Baby Shark ever.
Oh no, we know about Baby Shark already. Yeah.
Okay, okay, carry on. Sorry, I interrupted your story.
No, it's okay. So yeah, tonight he's got the kids tonight. Like he's and all day tomorrow. I'm off all day. I have a day off, you guys.
Oh,
Nice.
Yes, I have a total day off for my children. Like, and that sounds so terrible. Okay, moms out there that are
a day.
yeah. So tomorrow is my day. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I may actually go get like some Starbucks and like walk around to Michael's for a minute or something. But
Oh, jelly.
yeah, so he's got the
Nice.
kids all day, and we're not gonna. He doesn't babysit. He's their dad, so
That's
he's
right.
not right. He's not watching them, quote unquote. But I will catch up on American Horror Story tomorrow. So be looking for those DMs, Gabe.
I will.
What are you planning? Are you planning anything fun?
I'm getting everything kind of ready for the conference because I've never been,
Yeah.
and so I'm excited for it. And like, what do I need to pack? What do I need to take? Table mate gifts, contact cards, figuring out everything else that's going on. Like, when am I gonna get there? Because I have that weekend is actually a long weekend for
Mhm.
us for some reason. We have that Friday and Monday off.
Oh,
So I'm
nice.
trying to like
Nice.
plan when I'm gonna go there and try to meet people and like interact, and also schedule some time for me to like refuel by myself. So
Uh-huh.
that's like my
Mhm.
main thing that I'm planning because I've already got all my holiday stuff kind of ready.
Oh,
Ooh,
look at you
look
on
at
top of things.
Seriously.
I don't have any
Okay.
kids, so that's what I say. I have the extra time to do all of that.
This is true.
Well, it's nice for you to acknowledge that you have that time because there are a lot of people that don't have kids that are always trying to tell us how busy they are.
Yeah.
And I'm
It's like
just
a
like,
different level of busy. And you
it's,
have to like craft, like I can't go like Christmas shopping when my kids are like out of school. Like
Mm-hmm.
otherwise mass hysteria ensues, you know.
yeah, well, and I haven't actually been
Mhm.
physically Christmas shopping in a brick and mortar store in like 9 years.
Oh, that's
Let's be
true.
honest.
Online.
Everything gets delivered to my doorstep from Amazon and Target.com.
Yes.
So, yeah, well, that's what I'm planning too, is the conference. And I should be planning the holidays with my family. That's what I need to be focusing on. But instead, I'm trying to figure out like I'm supposed to, all of these different people that people keep talking about like, well, let's have lunch. And I'm like, well, we're only going to be there for this many days. So how many lunches am I
Right.
supposed to have?
Oh man.
Yeah. So, but I've got my hotel is already lined up and, I'm trying to think. I need to book my flight.
Oh, last minute.
Yeah. Well, I know. I'm trying to decide. Hold on. There's a child in here.
Oh jeez.
Hold on just a second. What do you need? Okay, I will as soon as I'm done with this. What? Okay, we'll do that. We'll do that in a minute. Okay. Okay.
Oh.
I love you, baby. Okay. Yes, kisses. Okay. I forgot to buy her something on her iPad that I bought for her brother that like I was supposed to get for them both,
Ooh.
and she chose like right now to tell me, like even though like
She's
now it's
mad
like
about it. Hannah's mad.
well, no, she was actually super pleasant and whispering. I think maybe her dad's asleep on the couch downstairs, and or he's been told, or they've been told not to come in here. So sometimes when they're told not to come in my room,
Oh,
when
exactly.
I know when they're told not to come in here, they'll open the door and they'll put their finger over their mouth like shh.
Yep, my kids try to do that too. Guess what I do? Lock the door.
Well, I just yell, "What are you doing in here?" And then my husband's like, "Are you in there?"
No, I've actually been texting my husband behind the scenes and I'm like, help, they're screaming outside the door.
Oh, okay. So back to the recording. So Gabe, are we gonna have lunch at the
Yes.
Chicago Planner Conference?
Yes.
I don't know how many lunches we're gonna be able to fit in, but everybody seems to think that we're all there needs to be some dinners or like some brunches or
Coffee.
coffees.
Yes.
All people think that we're gonna do there is eat, and I'm like,
Drinks.
well,
You can go out for drinks.
drinks. We can have drinks.
Totally.
We could just like go sit somewhere and put a sticker on a page. I mean, there's so many things that we could do. So, but I'm thrilled that you are planning to go to that conference because I am also going to be there. But I am still working on my flight. And then once I have my flight, then I will be like officially nailed down. So I'm ready.
Ooh.
Nice.
Yeah. So what are you eating?
Eating everything. I
Yes.
It's observation season for us.
Oh,
And I had like
Same.
that really stresses me out for some reason. So it's been a lot of like cookies and snacks and all that sort of stuff, which I should stop because my brother's getting married next year and I need to kind of go to the gym and lose a little bit of weight and all that stuff for all the pictures that'll happen.
Oh, because those pictures are forever.
Oh, they
Yeah.
are.
Those wedding pictures, God.
Mhm. And he'll get married in August, so I have some time, but I probably should have started already.
Yeah. I feel you though. It's been observation season here too. They do it like the first half of the alphabet one year and then the back half of the alphabet. And I am in the first half of the alphabet, so it is my year. And I'm like, goodness sakes. I can't. I also get very stressed out by observations. Leanne, you had one too, didn't you?
Yeah, mine's over for now. I don't know when it's coming back around, but it won't be much longer. I'll have another one before the end of the calendar year, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think so too.
So,
Okay.
but I am right there with you. What is it about like wanting to eat when you know that they're coming to your classroom?
I know, and I'm like totally chill with my administration usually. Like I consider them friends. But like when they're in there with their clipboard or they're watching and like taking notes, I'm like, oh my God, I could puke.
Yep.
I feel the same, and I'm totally cool with all of mine too. I don't know why. I don't know what like why I'm worried about it because, they know that I'm working hard and they know that, the kids are. I don't ever have any behavior problems or anything. I mean, the kids
Yeah.
are fine, so I don't know, but anyway, I feel you there. There is something comforting about just eating all the snacks when you know that somebody is going to come and
Yep.
watch you teach. And I always say that my kids do really well every year despite the administration. Does that make sense? Because
Totally.
there is something a little bit different. We do something a little bit different when they're going to be in the room because there is something that they expect things from us that there's no way that anyone could manage to pack into one class every single day.
Exactly. Yeah. Totally.
But and they don't come in enough to see that you are doing all of those things. So it's just it's nerve-wracking. It really is because you want for them to know that you're doing your job well. Because but then if I don't feel like that they would tell me if I'm not. I don't know. It's scary.
Well, I feel like
really
mine would. I think mine give really good constructive feedback, and they really want us to like do the best that we can. So not that yours don't want you to do the best that you can. That's not what I'm saying. But they really do. Like I am under a different administrator this year because I moved to the middle school and I love her. And I don't know, there's just something about her. Like I know that we can separate like whatever personal friendship we have and nothing is personal. And she just gives this amazing constructive feedback and honestly like wants to help in any areas where you have to improve. So I actually really like the feedback part. It's just the watching part.
Yeah, the watching part's the hardest.
Yes. I don't mind at all when they say, you could do this.
Yeah.
Because there are times that they make suggestions and I'm like, oh, well, I didn't think about that. Like I honestly didn't. Because they're spending more time reading about new teaching techniques than I certainly am.
Totally.
I mean, they're definitely spending their time in more workshops like that than I am. So, I don't mind their suggestions. It's just when they come in there and they have their little computer and they're all, you know what I mean? Like I just.
And you're like terrified. Like this is what I'm most afraid of, that like my kids are just going to like act a fool and then I'm gonna have to explain like why Jimmy said the F word in the chat pod. Like why are you doing that? One kid said the word breast in the chat pod while I had my observation and I was like, really? You couldn't have saved that for like tomorrow.
Oh my gosh. Well, I hate it when I always tell mine that when there's an administrator in the room, make sure that you act like that everything that I'm doing is normal. Okay, like don't act like, wait, what? We have a warm up? What do you mean we have a warm up? I'm like, we have a warm up every day and we do. So don't act like that. Like how
take a
seriously,
seat, Johnny.
No, there are kids that don't remember. Every single day they come in and I say, get out your notebook for the warm up, and they literally don't remember every day that they have to do that. And I have to tell them every day. There's specific kids that have to be told every single day, get out your notebook for the warm-up, even though the warm-up is on the board.
Yep. I literally had a kid. So we're 10 weeks into the semester now. Literally said to me today, I didn't know we had to turn stuff in for this class.
Yeah.
Oh,
Are you
wow.
kidding? Are you
Yep.
kidding right now? Is
Yeah.
this serious? Is this happening? Like,
Mhm. That sounds seriously. We are in quarter 2, and my kids have had journals to do after every film. Okay, there's been a film journal after every single film, and yet we are like 9 films in, and yet they still act like when it's time to take out those journals that they're like, wait, what is a film journal?
oh my God, I can't.
I mean,
Like, my head is gonna spin around.
they've already been given one film journal grade. Like, I've already taken them up and graded them once and given them back, and they're still acting like they don't know what this is. So if
Right?
there's an administrator in the room, how do I explain, well, that's just a knucklehead that doesn't ever know what's going on?
Yeah.
Instead of, this is the first time that Spicer has ever done film journals,
Or
like,
I'm not a good enough teacher to explain all the assignments to all to the kids,
right. Like, I don't want for it to look like that I'm doing something that I don't normally do
Yeah.
for the administrator, when really it's just this kid that hasn't looked up in 9 weeks.
Hasn't put his
So,
name down.
Mm-hmm.
so Gabe, what are you dreaming? Do you have any goals right now? Like, any kind of aspirations, dreams? Start
Ooh.
that YouTube channel?
I would really like to do it. It's just that I think of it as, what do I have to offer that's different from everything else out there already? Because
Oh,
I feel like I'm boring.
You are
oh my
not.
gosh,
I,
you are so not.
well,
No.
only and maybe not boring is the right word, but like not as relatable. Because when I came into the planning world, it's all female. Most of them are mothers of some sort, whether they're working or staying at home, and it's somewhat religious in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know where I would fit in there. I would really like to do it, but part of it is being a perfectionist, and I don't have lights and like a nice clean space right now because all of my planner stuff is a mess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can definitely relate to that. But like, I feel like also in the YouTube space, number one, there's room for everybody. And number two,
Mm-hmm.
like, you are bringing something different to the table, and that's what people are going to want to watch. And I think that, like, just having had conversations with you in the DMs, like, you're so easy to talk to. And like, I can
Mm-hmm.
imagine you talking through a plan with me and just like being so, like, your voice is pretty calming. Like, you'll be nice
That's
and easy
good.
to talk to. And I feel like, honestly, educators do really well on YouTube because we know how to talk to people.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a little boost if you are interested in doing it.
Thank you.
Do you have any other like goals on tap, like anything that you're dreaming of right now besides what we're trying to push on you?
Right.
Well, just getting through observation season.
Right.
Kind of like the big thing. I've had some nightmares of like,
Oh.
because my thing is with my
Oh.
students, it's in the past, they just, when the administrators come in, they don't interact with me. They're just quiet. They're not like answering my questions or participating, and I kind of freak out.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yes. Same.
the other thing I'm dreaming of, or planning kind of, is the 50th anniversary of Magic Kingdom in Walt Disney World is in a couple of years.
Oh.
So I'm like
Oh.
slowly saving up money and trying to plan that all out.
Oh, that's a
That's awesome.
fantastic goal.
In like 2 years, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be fun. And I
Well,
want to
that's
take my niece, because I've already gone with my nephew when he was 4th grade.
well, she'll be the perfect age.
Yeah.
Totally.
She'll be able to handle all the walking around and stuff. I wouldn't say that 5 would be right because she
Yeah.
would get tired, but by the time she's 7 or 8, like she'll
Mm-hmm.
be set. Well, that'll be fun, and to start planning it now is smart.
It
Mm-hmm.
takes so much planning.
Yeah, I know. That's why we haven't been with my family yet, because it takes a
Exactly.
lot of planning. Well, you'll be able to put lots of cool stuff in your happy planner about that. Like
Yes.
you can make one of those cool like savings sheets and like all kinds of like fun stuff
Memory
I
planning.
that I
Yes.
always see other people make, and then I never make them myself because I just
Well,
don't.
you don't need to hardly make anything anymore. The Happy Planner makes it all just about.
Yep.
Yeah, I know, but I like to make that stuff. I feel like that I enjoy when people put those like random, when they make those saving sheets, like my Go Wild savings, and then they do like a random amount for like every like day or whatever. Have you
Oh
seen those?
yeah.
You know, and you have to like, or they'll make like a Monopoly board and you roll a dice and whatever number you land on, that's how much money you put in your savings account or whatever. Like those kind of like little things are cool, and people come up with all these cool ideas, and
Totally.
you
Or
know,
like
that's
the
the
weight loss tracker things that people make.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, all that stuff is so cool, and I'm just kind of like, well, if I tried to draw a straight line, then it would look real bad. So,
I'm
I
the same
know.
way.
so what are you feeling right now? What are you feeling?
I'm actually a little sick,
Oh,
but other
well,
than that, I'm feeling good.
That's like a
you.
theme for our guests. Heather
It
was sick when
really
she was
is.
here.
Ugh.
You've been sick one time while you recorded with
Yeah,
us, Caitlin. Like
just gotta push through.
well, thank you for doing this anyway. We could have pushed it a week if you had wanted to.
Oh no, I'm fine. It's not like too bad, but it's part of that all the kids are getting sick and then it's finally hitting me a little bit.
Well, and teachers,
Yeah.
as we do, we just push through because it's so much easier to go to work than to get a sub.
Oh my
Oh.
gosh.
Well, is it hard for you guys to get subs?
For me, it's logging into a website and clicking some buttons.
Do you have
Okay.
to provide like a lesson plan or anything?
Yes. So I have emergency sub plans. I prepared like 7 days and it's just kind of generic review.
Nice, yeah.
But we kind of have a sub shortage in general in our state. And as well as
Oh.
like the teacher shortage. So it's like if all the teachers are kind of getting sick, then they just have to figure it out in the building.
Exactly. You end up covering sub. That's what we do because we don't really use subs unless it's like a long-term maternity thing
Mhm.
because we don't necessarily have all of our teachers teaching at the same time because of the virtual, environment. So we
Okay.
end up just covering everybody's classes. That's what we end up doing.
So, Caitlin, you sometimes have to cover other people's virtual classes?
Oh, I don't. I don't do that. But other people do. Have to cover them. I mean, not that I wouldn't if my administrators are listening. I would gladly help, but I have not yet been asked.
Well, today was one of those days where we had tons of staff members out. And when you walk into the building where the little sign-in sheet is, they always have the little coverage slip sitting out on the table where you can, where you like, where you take the slip that's got your name on it so you'll know like where to go for coverage. And there was like 25 of them out there this morning.
Oh my
wow.
And they had to make a sign that said, go look at this table for the coverage slip because they had to put them in a different spot because there were so many. And I didn't have one. And I don't know how I managed to not have to cover today because so many people were out. But it's one of those things where you feel like you've won the lottery when your name is not on those slips because so many other people had a slip. So I stopped by the attendance secretary and I was like, are you sure that that's right? And she was like, yeah, I don't need you today.
Oh, okay
And
then.
I was like,
Nice.
Why
oh
did
my
you
gosh.
even ask though? You just walk by and you don't make eye contact.
Because Caitlin, I'm a good person, okay?
I do as little work as possible and then don't get in trouble. I don't make eye contact.
Because as many days as I leave early or pop out during my planning period for a Red Bull or don't go to a staff meeting or whatever, like if they need me to cover a class, they need to know that my body is in the building and that I did that. Like my presence needs to be known. So, well, I'm sorry that you're feeling sick. Like that sucks. I hate that. So what are you loving right now?
I have been really into Sam Smith's cover of I Feel Love.
Oh,
And like disco in general.
I could see that.
That's kind of how like my mood goes and how I
Okay.
like base things off in my life and how I recharge is like music. So like disco is my big thing right now.
Ooh, I love that.
And part of
Yes,
like
I do too.
when I plan and get ready and all of that sort of stuff.
So do you listen to music when you plan?
Yes.
And you've been listening to disco while you plan?
Yes.
So this
Ooh.
answers our next one, which is listening. So
They go together.
they go
Yeah.
together. That's so cool. Well, I love it when you put music in your stories.
Yes,
Mhm.
me too. I'm always like, I need to download that.
I know, because I'm always like, what is Gabe listening to right now? Because your music and your stories is always something that I like. So, and I enjoy disco. I know that there's some people that really don't, but I like it too.
Yeah.
It makes me happy.
It is definitely a very happy genre.
Yes. So, well, we've talked, I feel like, at length pretty much already about the Chicago Planner Conference. So we won't really discuss that anymore, even though that was next on our list, guys, to talk about. So do you have anything else that you want to add about the Chicago Planner Conference? Like anything that you want to do? Which what are they called? Not meetings. They're not meetings. Yes, thank you, Caitlin.
The
Caitlin's not even going, and she's got it. Like, which workshops are you going to be at?
The cardboard cutout of me is going.
Oh, that's right. So, Caitlin, I'll tell you in a minute which workshops the cardboard cutout will be attending.
Okay.
Which ones are you doing, Gabe?
I have to find it because I don't remember.
On the spot. This was not the notes.
I'm going with Plan a Life You Love Through Gratitude. With Sam from Erin Condren, and then Goal Setting for a Life You Love with Jamie.
Oh, I love both of those people.
Nice. Oh my gosh, I love Sam, and it was such a hard decision.
Yeah.
Because I went with Kita.
Oh,
okay.
So good.
Very good.
Yes, I went with Kita. And it was hard for me to decide because I really like Sam too. In fact, I just got a package from her today. Yay! It's so funny because I was looking at my shipping from FedEx and it was like department, marketing, Sam. And I was like, oh, Sam. But see, I felt like that I needed what Kita is doing in her workshop, I guess, a little bit more or something. And I really like Kita. So
she's great.
Yes, and I know that you already know that she is, so
yeah.
I'll probably start screaming when I see her. Be like, I talk this big talk, but if I saw you at a Michael's, I would probably like start crying.
God, no. And I would like, Leanne, get up off the floor.
I do not know her. But no, you know
I
what
have
it would
forgotten
be?
her leash. I'm sorry.
It wouldn't be. I think that it would be like, not because I was fangirling, not that I wouldn't, okay? I know that, it's not because I wouldn't. It would just be because I would be so happy to see someone else from the planner community that I know.
Right, like the happy people. Yeah.
It would just be happiness because I've never met anyone else from the planner community that I know in person. And
Sparkle Creations is my bae in real life. We live really close to each other.
That's right. So see, you already have somebody in person. And I have friends in my life that plan, but they don't plan like I plan.
Yeah.
And in fact, they plan, and one of my friends uses Happy Planner, but she doesn't listen to my podcast. And not that she has to, but I'm just kind of like, girl,
the shade.
I'm like, the shade of it all. I'm like, girl, if you had a podcast, I would listen to you no matter what you were talking about. But maybe I'll cut that out because who knows if she listens now? I don't know.
Leanne is salty.
I know I'm salty. I'm like, how could you not be like watching and paying attention to all of my projects? But I feel like that I would probably cry just because I would be so happy to see somebody that I know in person, because I have never been to a planner meetup. I've never been to a conference. I've never been to anything. And I have got to do that. I want to meet people from the community so bad. Yeah. And I am an introvert that needs time to myself a lot, but I'm like I'm an ambivert.
Yeah, I think they call it like an extroverted introvert. I've heard is like a thing.
Okay. Yeah. I'm kind of both. Like I really, really do like to be social and get out there and meet as many people as I can. But then after I do that, I need to be alone for like 48 hours.
Right. It's like, don't even look at me, children.
Yes, I know. And I have really been working and pounding the pavement hard for the past couple weeks with the social media stuff. And when Andy said tomorrow you have a day off from everything, I was like, I'm going to just catch up on TV and just like, just lay in the bed and just like eat a pizza, or I don't know, but just nap 2 or 3 times or something. So, but I'm doing the other one the other Jamie, which Which company is that? Is that a company? The workshop that you're doing? The second one that you mentioned.
Oh, she's from Planner Girl Chatter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm doing Kita and Plum Paper. So we didn't pick the same conference, the same workshops.
But you could share notes.
Oh, yes, we could, and we can trade swag.
Ooh, yes. So the cardboard cutout is going to Kita and Plum Paper.
Yes. Yes.
But I'll be there.
But it's not too late for me to switch from Kita to Sam Kerr. Like, it's not too late. Like, I could still swap if I wanted to.
Mm. And now she might.
And now I might, so I can go with Gabe.
That's right.
Because you're never gonna shake me now, Gabe. It's just...
Oh no, you have no idea what you just started, Gabe.
Caitlin has never been able to get rid of me since the first DM.
I know. She's like, "Can I call you?" And I'm like, "Girl." No, I'm just kidding.
Oh no, she loves it when I call her. And sometimes she calls me while I'm having class, and I just answer.
We're basically sister wives.
Yeah, we really are.
Sister wives.
I know, and we're over here plotting how like I can move to Portland. Like we're trying to get Brian to have a job that he can hire my husband so that I can move up there and we can just like make planner videos and make podcasts and put stickers on paper together all the time. So yeah, wouldn't that be amazing? And then we can get in an airplane and go visit Gabe.
Well, my children are about to lose their ever-loving minds, so we may need to wrap this up soon.
All right, so Gabe, will you tell everyone where they can find you?
I'm Plan with Gabe on Instagram, _ between the Plan with and the Gabe, and then Plan with Gabe all together on Facebook.
Awesome. All right, so we have loved having you on the show. It has been amazing.
So much.
It's been so much fun.
Yes, thank you so much for doing this. We really, really appreciate it. And I hope that we weren't too like wild or,
Not at all.
No, or invasive
Not at
or or irritating or whatever.
No, you guys were great.
Because you have us now. Like we are definitely we just
became best friends.
Yes, we totally did. So I hope that you get ready for Chicago because I will be there with my cutout of Caitlin and we will follow you all over that city.
This will be Leanne across the room. Gabe with her hand up like waving.
And you'll be like, I don't know that girl.
With the cardboard cutout just over everybody.
Oh my God. The planners are falling to the ground.
That's how you'll know it's me because I'll be waving the cardboard cutout of Caitlin.
She'll have lipstick on her teeth and her hair will be a mess.
Oh, how do you know that I always have lipstick on my teeth?
We're sister wives. I know a lot of things about you.
We're gonna have Gabe back on the show again because we didn't get to talk. Fun. I know, and we didn't get to talk at all about like, YouTube beauty gurus and stuff because we just don't have enough time to talk about every single thing. And I love that stuff too. So I'm always watching when you get like new palettes and stuff in your stories. And I'm like, oh my God, I want that too.
Yes.
Oh, so next time we'll talk about more of that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But anyway, we are going to say goodbye, but thank you again. And Caitlin, do you have anything else that you want to add before we hit the road?
No, that's it. I heart you, Gabe, and thanks for being here.
Thank you guys. It's been a lot of fun. I didn't know what to think of it. It's my first kind of being extroverted online. Yeah. Because I don't really post my face or say anything, so it's been a lot of fun.
Oh, well, we're so glad that you did it. I hope that you've got the whole weekend now to recharge.
Yeah, we won't bother you this weekend.
No. Well, when I'm watching American Horror Story, I'm totally going to send you a DM.
No, Leanne, stay out of that man's DM.
Fine.
Sit down, Leanne.
Okay. Anyway, so next week sometime I'll send you a DM and just check on you.
Okay.
But you did great. Like, it was totally fine. Like, you could totally do this. Like, why don't you podcast or something? Like, you could totally do that. But anyway, we have adored having you on the show, and we will talk to you soon, and we will talk to all of the listeners in the next one. Bye, guys.
Bye.
We did it, guys. Yay.
Yay.